Let's talk about parking. We've all been there, right? You find what looks like the perfect spot, but then that little voice of doubt kicks in. Well, today, we are turning that parking panic into total confidence. We're going to break down the official rules so your next park is a perfect one.
You know that exact feeling I'm talking about? You've parked, you're walking away, and then your brain just goes, wait, am I actually allowed to park here? It is a classic driver's dilemma for sure.
Well, you can stop wondering. In just a few minutes, we're going to clear up the most important parking rules out there. By the time we're done, you'll know exactly how to park right every single time.
Okay, first things first, let's talk about the absolute red zones. These are the no-go areas where you can never ever park. And trust me, it's all for a really good reason, keeping everyone safe and the traffic flowing.
So, what's the big idea behind this first set of rules? It's pretty simple, actually. It's all about making sure that traffic and pedestrians can move around smoothly and safely. Think of it as the foundation for keeping our roads from turning into chaos. So, parking on a sidewalk or crosswalk? Yeah, that's a real no-no. But here's a big one to remember. You have to be at least 5 meters away from a stop sign or yield sign. That little bit of space is crucial so other drivers can actually see what's coming. The same logic applies to bridges and construction zones. It's all about preventing dangerous bottlenecks.
All right, the second type of no-go zone is all about access. This is incredibly important. We're talking about making sure emergency vehicles can get where they need to go, and that people can, get into their own driveways.
You're going to want to burn these numbers into your brain. 5 meters for a fire hydrant, that's about the length of your average car, and 1.5 meters for a driveway. And double parking? It's always a no. Same goes for parking near an emergency scene. These aren't just polite suggestions. They are absolutely critical safety rules.
Okay, so you found a perfectly legal spot, clear of all those red zones. Fantastic. But that's only half the battle. Now we've got to actually position the car correctly.
Now you'll mainly see two types of parking, parallel and angle. Parallel is that classic move you do on city streets, and angle parking is what you'll find in most parking lots. Simple enough, right? But believe it or not, there's one golden rule of measurement that applies to both.
And this number is your new best friend for parking, 500 millimeters. I know, it sounds super technical, but it's really not. It's just half a meter. To put that in perspective, it's roughly the distance from your elbow to your fingertips.
So whether you're parallel parking or pulling into an angled spot, your wheels can't be more than 500 millimeters away from the curb. And why is that? Well, it's the perfect sweet spot. Close enough so you're not sticking out into traffic, but far enough so you can open your door without scraping it on the curb. Get this right, and you're golden.
Okay, so we've got the basics down. Now let's dive into some of the trickier situations you might run into, like parking on steep hills or out on the open highway. Parking on a slope has one big risk that flat ground doesn't: gravity. A car rolling away on its own is a seriously dangerous thing, so there's a super simple two-step rule you have to follow.
Step 1. Turn your front wheels toward the curb. That way, if your car did start to roll, the tires would just bump up against the curb and stop it. Step 2, and this is totally non-negotiable. You have to set the parking brake. It's your ultimate safety net.
Now, parking on a highway out in the country is a completely different ballgame. The number one rule is, if you can possibly park off the road, you absolutely have to. But if there's no other choice, then visibility is everything.
And that brings us to our next magic number, 60 meters. This has nothing to do with the curb. This is all about how far away other drivers need to be to see you clearly. So your car needs to be visible from 60 meters away in both directions. To give you an idea, that's more than half a football field. It gives someone driving at highway speeds enough time to see you, react, and get around you safely. Parking just over a hill or around a curve is just a recipe for disaster.
All right, for our final section, let's talk about the extra challenge of parking at night. When you're stopped on a highway after dark, it's all about making sure other drivers can see you.
For a regular car like most of us drive, you need to have either your tail lamps or your hazard lights flashing. But for commercial vehicles, the rules get even stricter. They must use their hazards, and they also have to put out special warning devices.
And for those big trucks, they need to place those reflective triangles about 30 meters. That's around 100 feet in front and behind the vehicle. But if the visibility's bad, like in heavy fog or rain, that distance more than doubles to 75 meters. It's all about giving other drivers as much warning as humanly possible.
So, we have covered a lot today. No-go zones, specific measurements, special situations. But if you only remember one thing from all of this, please let it be this next point.
Every single rule we talked about, from the 5 meters at a stop sign to the 500 millimeters from the curb, it all comes back to one simple goal: safety and access for everybody on the road. Good parking isn't just about dodging a ticket, it's about being a smart, considerate driver.
And there you have it, your guide to parking like a pro. So I'll leave you with a question. Now that you're armed with all this info, what's the one parking mistake you're going to notice all the time on your daily drive? I think you might be surprised at what you start to see. Thanks for joining me.